Yeah, something else. You recorded the album in Montreal,
Yeah.
and it says on the cover it was the last album to be recorded in that studio.
Yeah, it was, and it was. There was only 2 light bulbs left.
Too loud. Okay.
It's a studio owned by Howard Billerman and Ephraim from Silver Mount Zion, and the original Arcade Fire drummer on the first album. And 2 musicians, and they have a studio. They built it themselves. Mostly local bands and their friends who use it. And yeah, it was the last one. They still have a studio, but they've moved, and it's bigger and newer and better now. It's, yeah.
Okay. So, was it a special place?
It was suitable for us because it was quite shabby, you know. It wasn't too clean, and it was full of junk and instruments and bicycles hanging from the roof, and it was like a big warehouse. So I feel more at home in them places, you know. It's one of the reasons we didn't want it, you know. We got away from London and avoided all those professional studios. And yeah, we were going to do the whole record there, but we didn't finish. So
You didn't finish it there?
No.
Because
that
the
just
studio
ended
was
up
broken down?
No, the studio was okay. Originally we were going to do all the songs just live, like a band playing live, just guitars singing all at once. And we did it like that, and we got to the end, and then we started to mix it, and it didn't seem seemed like it could have been anywhere almost, you know. Could have been any room in any part of the world, and it only had one dimension. And so the drums were good and everything, and the tracks were good, but it wasn't coming together. So yeah, we tried to mix it. We thought we'd failed at that point, so we got all the tapes, took them home, started work again at home, just on our own, on our home recording equipment, you know, quite cheap stuff, and worked for 2 or 3 more months with building up choirs and putting, like, I started learning cello for it and doing things like that. And
you play cello on the album?
Yeah, but there's a girl called Becky who plays in Silver Mount Zion, so if it's good cello, it'll be Becky. If it's like, it'll be me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Also in the liner notes or whatever, it says the studio in Montreal was next. Leonard Cohen was living next to this.
He wasn't next to it. He wasn't far away, just
across.
Not far.
It says across the street, I think.
It was maybe half a mile.
Okay.
Yeah, he lives in a little square in the old-fashioned part of the town.
Yeah. I was thinking because he's a Buddhist monk, isn't he?
Yeah, no.
I thought he was living somewhere in the mountains.
No, I think he lived in California in a cave for a long time, and then he got ripped off for all his royalties by his manager and lost millions of dollars. And he's had to start work again.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. You saw him while you were there?
No, it was slightly odd though, because like maybe a year before I wrote one of the songs, Atom, and it has a Latin phrase in it. I don't know any Latin normally, but I watched a Leonard Cohen film, a black and white one, when he was quite young. He was in a cafe, and behind him it said Cave a tempo. It means, most people say it means buyer beware. He said it means this is not totally devoid of the con, which is a slightly more poetic way of putting it. And yeah, it seemed like a good phrase for my song, and I put it in, and we ended up going to Montreal and found out he lives down the road, and some of the people we met were friends with him and things like that. So it's funny how things turn up once you start noticing them, you know.